All right, here we are with a very fun video today. This is going to be all about antagonists and rating them on the tier scale, not based off how evil they are, but their aura. So what do I mean by that? Well, first let's just make sure we all know what an antagonist is. I got the definition up right here. Essentially it's a villain, but it's a character group or force that stands in direct opposition to the main character, primary function to create obstacles and conflict. So I got 30 of them here. Very popular ones, mostly from movies, some from TV shows. And the way I'm going to base the scale to rate their quote unquote aura, it's sort of like their style of the way that they execute things, how much gravity I feel that they have as an antagonist, like their presence. This is more tied to their competence. It's not necessarily how evil they are. And then lastly, just my personal feeling toward them, how drawn I am to that character. Let's begin. I'm going to start with someone with zero aura, and that's going to be Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Why does Gollum have zero aura? I think if you've seen the movies, I don't really need to explain. Physically, from a physical perspective, he's very small. He's not really intimidating aside from the fact that he is very creepy, very unattractive, and his voice is very irritating. He's very addicted. He's obsessed with this ring. It's like, bro, come on, let's grow up. So Gollum's going in the F. I'm gonna now on the flip side, let's do someone with S tier aura, superior aura, and that's gonna be Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
I simply am not there.
Patrick is a very unique character in the sense that he has a lot of psychological dissonance. There are a lot of mental, I guess, issues is a term that I'm comfortable using. The only thing that kind of makes him not have aura is that he's a yuppie, but he's not like an annoying yuppie. He's kind of annoyed to be around yuppies. The Wall Street, he works on Wall Street with a bunch of banker guys. So he's got a great taste in music. The way he kills people is very stylish. So I'm very comfortable putting him in the S tier with his aura. Now moving on, I'm going to take Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. Bane, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about him. I'm going to put him in the D tier. I think from a visual perspective, he's a lot higher. Like he demands attention. But his voice, it's a little troll. And honestly, I just didn't find his character super interesting. We're just going to move on. Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs. I'm torn between B and A. I think I'm going to put him in the B tier. He does command, I think he only has like 17 minutes of screen time in the actual film, which is remarkable because the film is, I think, almost 2 hours, and it just feels like he's in the movie for so long because every scene he's in, we're just very drawn to the way that his mind works, the way that he speaks to Jodie Foster, and he's very intellectual. So I think that gives him a edge in his aura, the commanding presence for sure. There is definitely hype around him before she even meets him, but we just don't get to experience him enough to where I'm comfortable putting him in the S tier. All right, Sugar from No Country for Old Men.
What time do you close?
Now, we close now.
Now is not a time. What time do you close?
I'm going to put Sugar in the C tier. Again, this is for aura. I think as a villain overall, he's probably S tier. But for his aura, he's very strange. Well, he is a serial killer. The way he eliminates people is very unique. So there is some aura within that. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Just carrying around a tank. He is very intellectual. It always feels like he's steps ahead of people. He's very intimidating, very composed. But would I get a beer with this dude on a Friday night, even if he wasn't a psychopath? Probably not. His aura is just not there. Let's take Hans Landa from Inglourious Basterds.
Bingo! How fun!
S tier for sure. Speaks 4 languages. One of the most mastermind manipulators. Is very charming. I think that's something that him and Patrick Bateman have in common? They're both very charming, and that's a very intriguing element for someone that is a villain slash antagonist. I highly suggest watching Inglourious Bastards if you have not, because I personally think that performance is the greatest I've seen for an antagonist. Let's take Syndrome from The Incredibles, F tier. No aura from this dude whatsoever. He's trying to be a copycat, doesn't really have original ideas. Hairdo is not it. He doesn't have any superpowers yet. He wants to be a supervillain. Now I do respect the consistency for at least putting in the effort. He's very persistent with trying to follow up with Mr. Incredible. And it's kind of sad, actually, the way that he ends up being the villain when he just really wanted Mr. Incredible's attention, wanted to prove himself. So, that is a little redeeming. I'm gonna put him in the D tier just because those are some redeeming qualities. He's certainly not on the level of Gollum now that I think about it, so he's going in the D tier. Oh, and he does have one of the greatest quotes that I think about to this day. He says, "If everybody was super, then no one would be." And I think that is a beautiful, beautiful metaphor that we can think, can apply that to anything really. Like, if everybody was intelligent, then no one would be because it would be normalized. Like that sort of thing. If everyone was happy, no one would be because it's a normalized baseline, and then we lose sight of any contrast. Darth Vader from the Star Wars series. I'm gonna put him in the A tier. He's so iconic. He commands respect and attention. Dude is just out there just choking people with not even using his hands. It's remarkable. He's just using the force. Voice is very intimidating, and he's always got people marching behind him. He's a leader. However, I can't put him in the S tier because of how manipulated he was by Darth Sidious. You shouldn't be getting manipulated that deeply if you were if you had true aura. So he's going to remain in the A tier. And so I might as well get Darth Sidious in here since we just brought him up. Sidious is going, in terms of aura, it's between D and C. I'm going to put him in C. The dude's shooting lightning out of his hands. He's very effective in his role. It's funny, he's very similar to somebody that we currently have as our president. So I think that's a pretty funny similarities there. If you've seen Revenge of the Sith, you see how the emergency powers that he takes on as the Chancellor to become the Emperor and send the troops to war. So he's very good at what he does, but he just doesn't really have a lot of aura outside the fact that he can shoot lightning out of his hands. Let's take Regina George from Mean Girls.
You're like really pretty.
Thank you.
So you agree? What? You think you're really pretty?
Oh,
I'm going to put Regina in the S tier. She has a lot of aura. She's a brat, but it's not like the bratty that's annoying. It's more of the bratty that's commands respect. I would have to think about this more, but just based off my immediate thought, I'm gonna put her in the S tier for her aura because she is very funny without intending to be. It's just a part of her personality, and she's a mastermind manipulator. So I love the aura she gives off. Mr. Sir from Holes.
Once upon a time, there was a magical place where it never rained. The end.
Oh man, he cracks me up. Dude's walking around just shooting from the hip. I'm gonna put him in the C tier. I think his character is very hilarious. Again, he's not intending to be, but he just is. Well, that's not true. I think he is trying to be at times, but he doesn't show that he's trying to be funny. It's just a part of who he is. And he has some very iconic lines. I mean, even just the way this guy's got a pep in his step. He's just walking around. He knows he's the boss. Speaking of a person with pep in their step, let's get Professor Umbridge. She's going in the F tier. This woman is garbage. I despise her. And so in some ways, you have to respect how much hatred or dislike you have towards someone, because that means they're doing something really right, even if it means being the worst person in the world. At least you're good at that. I just don't think she has a lot of aura. Her style is It's very outdated. She's always wearing pink. She's always talking with this very condescending tone. Just not charming at all. Quite frankly, the opposite. So she's with there with Gollum. Let's take Love from Blade Runner 2049.
I'm gonna tell Mr. Wallace you tried to shoot me first. That's why I had to kill you.
Love is going in the B tier. She wants to be the best. She is, despite being a replicant, which is someone that is not sentient, she has this ambition that's very, very attractive. And she has this composure about her that is very desirable, which makes her, it kind of almost makes her more physically attractive, despite not being the most attractive replicant out there. So if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And she's very skilled in combat, which is, it's pretty sexy. Let's take Joffrey, King Joffrey Lannister.
A joke? Joffrey did not mean it.
Yes, I did.
I'm putting King Joffrey, in terms of aura, I think he's going to go in the D tier. And the reason I'm putting him here, if it was just pure evil, he'd be going in S. Just a little bit above F because he is a king. So he's got kind of like a king swagger a little bit. He's a very young king. If you just were to hear that, it's initially like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Like someone's a young king. You know, you're ruling the seven kingdoms. Like you got to have a little bit of aura to do that. But he is just the worst person ever. Like alongside Dolores Umbridge, he's actually worse. Again, young king, it's pretty cool. So let's take his mother now, Cersei Lannister. Cersei has a lot of aura in her own way. She's going to go in, I think, the A tier. Has this very composed way about her. I wouldn't consider it charisma, but she's very intelligent. And I just feel like she's a great observer. She sees everything. And you have to be very emotionally intelligent to be able to do that. She's also willing to sacrifice anything for her people that she loves, her brother and her son, or her kids. And so that's very redeeming and gives this extra layer of aura to her. Also just being a very beautiful queen. Let's take a princess now. We're going to go with Princess Azula from Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Beaten me at my own game.
Don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player.
What a character. If you have not seen Avatar, The Last Airbender, I think it's probably my top 3 favorite shows. Even though it's a Nickelodeon show, it's meant for adults as well. There's a lot of good allegories in the show. And I think it's very cool when a show can dual being for any age, really. It's really hard to get all ages to enjoy a show. Princess Azula is going to go, I think her aura is pretty high. I'm going to put her in the B tier. She's a mastermind for being a princess. She's 16, yet she's just always very methodical with everything she does. And her execution is highly effective. She's also very skilled in combat and just has this demeanor that's just so unique to her. I don't really know how to explain it right off the top of my head. She's going in the B tier. All right, Heath Ledger's Joker.
We are tonight's entertainment.
S tier. I mean, there's something I'm certain about. The Joker has a lot of aura. He walks to the beat of his own drum. He does not care about riches or anything. He just enjoys chaos. And he's very good at creating it. And I think just the performance that Heath Ledger gives, what he went through to achieve this role. I know we're just talking about the character itself, but I just think the two they're almost combined in some way, shape, or form. So the Joker is going in S. Lord Voldemort. Now, this is he who must not be named. There's a lot of aura in that people are just even afraid to speak your name. There's such legend around who you are as a dark wizard. People don't even want to say your name. So walking around with his drapes on, it just feels like he's just floating throughout life. See, the problem is he was living on Professor Quirrell in the first movie, and there's not a lot of good aura about that. You're feeding off another man just to survive, and that's a weakness. So I think Voldemort is somewhere between B and A. I'll give him A because he is he who must not be named. He has followers. He has such a legend around him. And yeah, like I said, I think the only things, I mean, dude's got a pet snake too. Come on, that's really cool. But yeah, like I said, the thing with Professor Quirrell, I can't get over that. So I'm gonna put him in the A tier, not quite S. Daniel Plainview from There Will Be Blood.
I can't keep doing this on my own. With these, people.
What a character that Daniel Day-Lewis puts on. Aura, he's going in the B tier. He is this evil capitalist. He's just constantly taking advantage of the situation. And he has admirable qualities in the sense that there's a lot of drive and he's willing to do whatever it takes. And unfortunately, that's at the expense of his own son or his own brother. And that is kind of gross, but you still have to differentiate that the willingness of being able to do whatever it takes to get what you want. That is ambition. B tier. Lots of aura, but not quite A tier level. Fletcher, the teacher from Whiplash. Okay, I'm sure you've seen a lot of memes. If you haven't seen the movie is fantastic. Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons, maybe. He's gonna go in the. He reminds me of Voldemort in a lot of ways. I'm gonna put him in the A tier because he is one step ahead as well, and he is so intimidating. Yet you could get a drink with him, and it's funny because I think in the movie that does happen, but there's a lot of aura there. I think he's pretty underrated now that I'm looking at some of the other characters on this list. Okay, HAL 9000 from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
HAL is going in D. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about him because he doesn't play a huge role in the movie, but he's probably one of the first AI that is just a piece of crap. So because he sort of is one of the pioneers, I'm throwing respect on his name, but he is quite boring. So he's going in the D tier. The Dolphin.
Giant boars with a tiny cock.
The Prince of France, I believe, in The King, Robert Pattinson. He's going to go in the C tier. I'm sure most people haven't seen The King here, so I'm not going to spend too much time. The character is very fun to watch when he has screen time. It's not a lot, but he is a prince at the end of the day, and I think he's a prince. He's a son of the king. So I'm putting him in the C tier. He is funny in his own way, but he just doesn't strike me as a dude that has a lot of aura. All right, the Riddler from Batman 2022. He is going in. It's between C and D. I'm gonna put him in the D tier because he is an incel. Dude is an incel straight up. And so how much aura can you have if that's the case? However, he gives riddles and speaks in parables in a way. And I think that you have to be very intelligent to do that. So despite being an incel, he is a very I love the way it feels when he's on the screen in Batman. It's just a different sort of villain. So he's unique in his own way. And that's why he's gonna fade the F tier. Dwight Schrute from The Office. Dwight. I'm gonna give Dwight C tier aura. He lives I can't remember if he lives on a farm or he just has a farm. He's very smart. He has a lot of unique skills. He has a very unique skill set. He's quite annoying. So I think that's part of the reason why I'm not giving him a higher rating here. But there are just things that you have to love about Dwight. So for that reason, I'm going to put him in the C tier. The Office, what an amazing and iconic show. All right. Speaking of shows, how about Mr. Milchek from Severance? Aura level B. He just cracks me up. It's the satire in his character that is just there's something about it that is so drawing, and him at the dance party, like it's just I'm like, oh wow, he must have a lot of skills that we're not aware of. He is a little bit of a cookie cutter personality, so that's why he's not going to make it past the B tier. Great character though. All right, Nate Jacobs from Euphoria.
Like fucking Tony Montana, what's the plan? Gonna be living in a mansion, fucking pet tigers and shit?
So if we were doing pure evil, he would be one of the most evil people in season 1. But he does have some swagger to him. He is tall. He's like 6'4". I mean, that always girls foam at the mouth for this dude in the show and in real life. So I guess you have a little bit of aura there. But he's just such an evil dude. It's hard to look past it. So I'm gonna put him in the. He does have aura though. I'm gonna put him in the B tier because he has just this menacing way about him. In the clip I included, you see that the smile at the end. It's just like this dude's a psychopath, and it's in this way that almost it does have some attraction to it. All right, Colonel Lockjaw from One Battle After Another
You like black girls? I love them.
he's such a weirdo. Not a lot of aura, and he's racist. He's going in the D tier. He's fading F because he's got some pep in his step, commands respect. He is a colonel after all. He also is willing to do what it takes to get what he wants. And again, there is something admirable about that. He also wants to be in a very exclusive club. He wants that prestige. He wants to be accepted. So there are some human elements deep down, but he's just such a weirdo. All right, Sophia Falcone from the Penguin series.
All right. I think that's.
Yes?
It's between A and S tier. She was in Arkham for a long time. Sophia Falcone is the Hangman. And I'm going to have to put her in A. She's similar to Cersei Lannister in the way that she sees everything. She's very observant. I'm sure deep down has a lot of emotional intelligence, but has just been hurt so much by the world. And it's really shaped her into having to be this strong, strong woman that is very menacing, is very ominous, because the vulnerability aspect, she can't sacrifice anymore being vulnerable to people because of how hurt she's become. So I respect her a lot. I would definitely get a drink with her on a Friday night, villain or not. Fade Rotha. What a incredible villain. I'm going to put Fade, he's somewhere between S and A. I'm going to put Fade in A because there's something just commendable about him. He fights with a lot of with honor, and he fights to the death, and he's fine with the outcome. And I respect that. I respect that on the battlefield. I'm pretty sure like he plays by the rules. So, despite being this menacing, evil, just absolute psychopath, he still can find a way to fight with honor, and I really like that. So let's take now Prince Zuko. Prince Zuko is S tier aura. The scar, the character development, the legacy, what he went through as a child. So he is a very dynamic antagonist, and his voice too is just, it's very soothing in a weird way. He's so fun to watch in Avatar: The Last Airbender. He is related to Princess Azula, by the way. And if you were to watch Avatar, you know what I'm talking about. Zuko is easily an S tier. All right, let's take. We're down to our final two. I'm going to take Miranda. I'm forgetting her name in Devil Wears Prada.
Truth is, there is no one that can do what I do.
Yeah, I'm blanking on her name, but she's going in the S tier. Her character is it just screams aura. She knows who she is. She doesn't try to put on any front. She is herself, her genuine self, and I really respect that. Despite being a CEO of a corporation, despite being kind of an ass, it's like you gotta do what you gotta do to be the best. And if that's her way of going about it, so be it. I'm upset that I'm blanking on her name right now. S tier character. You know what? I gotta look it up really quick because that's gonna bother me. Miranda Priestley. I was mixing her up. It is Miranda. I know I initially said that, but yeah. Okay. So she's going in S tier. I already said my piece with it. And last but not least, we have Commodus Joaquin Phoenix from Gladiator. He is going to go in the S or the C tier. Excuse me. He is a. I'm not. I don't. I'm blanking if he's like a king or an emperor. He is loyalty. Automatically, just being able to be in that position that is probably very stressful and being able to handle it, I guess to some degree well. He is just so irritating. Like anytime he's on the screen, it's like, oh, this dude is just insufferable. I think that's a better word. So he fades the F tier because I don't think he's down there with Umbridge or Gollum, but he actually in some ways reminds me of Syndrome. I'm not sure why. I would have to really dive deep into that. But anyway, that is going to wrap up the antagonist tier list. I'm going to save this template in case someone wants to use it someday because I know a lot of these villains are very popular. Let me know what you think. If you think I made a big mistake somewhere, I would love to know where your rankings lie. So, all right, have a great day, everybody.